Good morning, everybody. All right, let's get moving. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and this is our Saturday Yoga Basics. I hope that you're joining us live or maybe on demand a little bit later. Maybe it feels a little early in the morning. I'm loving this balmy weather, so I'm like, I'm going to wear shorts today because it's warm. Um, All right. If you're new to our yoga basics, welcome. I'm really glad that you're here. We're going to keep things simple, but it doesn't mean that things might not feel a little challenging. All right. So we might find some core spaces. We might find some upside down spaces, but we'll do them in the most basic and fundamental way. If you need or want, I really recommend that you have a block. You could use a chair or a stool, but something that can give you some support. And maybe a strap, and maybe a cushion. And if you don't have a thick cushion of some sort, a throw pillow, but those tend to be really fluffy, you can roll up a blanket and get some nice dense lift from that for a little support for some of the more squishy, yummy spaces that we get into. All right, why don't we start this morning using a strap? So if you have a scarf, what am I looking for? The words, a belt. Good morning, Bess. Something that you can hold on to. Go ahead and get it. And we'll bring it above our head and hold the strap maybe just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Okay? And pull. Feel your legs will come to standing, stretch upright. I taught a private group yesterday, and it was someone was really emphasizing something that I thought made a lot of sense. Like they just wanted to feel extension and expansion because they've just felt really kind of crunched in, and that makes sense, So let's feel that expansion. Lift, reach, pull. Breath in. Exhale, let's just do a gentle side bend. Keep pulling and just notice, what's going on in those arms. When does the body say stop? And bring ourselves up. One of the beauties of yoga is that it definitely helps us connect to mind and body and hear what the body is actually saying and let the mind not be in the driver's seat so much. Using it, exhale to find the other side. Let's just feel out the other side of the body. How much of the ribs, chest want to move, bringing ourselves up. And then I'm going to pull those arms out in front. Just pull apart. I'm going to slide it out just a little bit. Laugh out loud here, okay? I'm going to turn sideways. I'm going to pull up and back. Now those wrists bend and back, back, back. Maybe tuck the chin down, feel the neck. Did you go beyond what your body wanted? Keep pulling apart. What are you feeling in your forearms? Bringing it back up. Okay, I confess I had to slide that out just a little bit. Feel those shoulder joints. Pull it forward. One more time, why not? Let's breathe in, coming all the way up. Stretch the chest up too if you like. And then pulling the arms back, tuck the chin down, feel that neck if you like. I'm always going to say if you like because I don't know what it's like to be in your body. So you can try something out, and then if something says, whoa, don't go there, then don't go there. Bringing those arms up and back. All right. Why don't we set that aside? Say enough of that. Shake those arms out. Few shoulder rotations. What's stuck in there? Maybe make a sound. Change direction. I'm going to take my right arm across and just give it a little hug behind the shoulders. See if we can keep the hips forward so that we're just moving the upper body and twist a little bit to the left. Shoulders down, standing tall. Where's your breath? And release, maybe shake that out again and find the other side. No rush. Give yourselves that hug, that tenderness, and twist. Trying to keep my own hips in alignment. And release. I'm going to bring my hands behind. Now, if you want to use that strap, but I'm going to bring the hands kind of close together. Shoulders up and down. Lifting the wrists away from the body. Growing tall through the back of the neck. I'm going to soften the knees a little and lift the chest up. So I've got some spring in my knees. And inviting however much the front of my body wants to open, feeling that skin stretch, the muscles and the tummies and the chest. And you can hold the arms if you like. Maybe see how long you can hold it as you bend forward. Knees remaining bent. Feel free to do that again. Deep breath. I need it. Let those arms go when you're ready, and we'll round the spine up, lifting the head last. Awesome. Let's make our way to the top of our mat. And we'll bend the knees, sink the butt back. You could lift the arms, but you don't have to. You could always just keep your hands to prayer. Breath in. We're in this chair. Exhale, bending it forward. Let the head go. Maybe let the upper body swing or sway. Hands to the floor, or here's where having a block or a chair can be useful. So if you need to bring and raise that surface so you have some good support, go ahead. We'll lift the left leg up behind us. Don't worry about how high. Feel the right leg responding. Maybe see about shifting forward and back in that right leg. What is the hip saying? What's the thigh saying? Maybe even the arms. Are you noticing if you're kind of straining somewhere? And bring the left leg down. When you're secure, we'll lift the right leg. Lift the chest up. Where's the breath? Where's the joy? Maybe shifting back and forth. The back of that leg for me is a little tight. And bringing that right leg down. We can have a little bit of space between the feet. Let's bend the knees. Lift the chest back to our chair. Coming up to standing. I'm going to bring my weight over into this right leg and lift the left. It doesn't have to be very high. Just notice what's going on. I often find that if I bend my standing leg, I actually have a little bit more stability, a little bit more root. And then I'm going to bring my weight over into the left leg. Again, I'm going to give it a little spring and lift. Noticing the state of my breath, state of my mind. Bring that leg down, stand up tall, sweep the arms out, stretch, expand, breathe in. And now let's find a side bend, this time without the strap. We can let go of the notion of that strap for a little bit. And breathe in and side bend. Is the body moving a little more freely? Is it a little accustomed, a little warmed up? And we'll breathe in and lift. And then just go ahead and let your body go. You could have the legs a little wider, just depending on how much tummy or how big our thighs are. Make room for you so that you can move with the greatest comfort in your body. Let's bend the knees, pull the butt back, lift the chest, chair. Now, if you want to play, let's just laugh out loud. Have a WTF moment, right? We're going to shift over into the left leg and maybe reach the right leg forward. Maybe not. Maybe that's like she is off her rocker today. We're going to shift and lift. I just like to see what happens. And that's me falling. Let's shift and lift. Do I need anything going on in these arms? Shift. Let's stay in this chair and lift. Not perfecting. We're just feeling. Coming back to that chair. Finding our clasp. Open up the chest. Coming to standing. Good morning, D-Bay. Lift the chest. Breathe. Go as far as it says yes. As your body and your spirit says yes to. And we'll bring ourselves forward. Do you need to bend the knees? Do you know if you need to? Do you just want to give it a try and see how it feels? Feel your breath. Do you need to let go of those arms? Do you need to hold it a little longer because you never have? And release the arms. We're going to find our support once again. Now, if you don't need a block and your hands can come to the floor easily, great on you. If you want to use the chair or a stool or a block, great on you. Now I'm going to separate my feet a little bit, bend my knees. Let's find a few cat and cows, work the spine a little. And let's pull the chest up, stretching the throat up, and try to tilt the butt up. So maybe you feel your belly caving down to the floor. If you're doing this, see if you can push down with the arms a little bit more, trying to lift through the front of the chest, through the nape of the neck. Can we lengthen through there without straining? And then exhale, we'll curve the tailbone under and round the spine up toward the ceiling, softening our neck. And find a neutral space. Left hand to the block or the floor. And then see if the rib cage wants to twist to the right. Now that right hand can come to the hip. That's the least straining on the shoulder and the neck. Some of you may want to explore opening your wings wide. Now, as we're doing this, let's chiefly let the breath flow. And then see if the legs can push down and that left arm, does that help you twist a little bit more? How about the neck? Would you prefer to be looking down? Could you twist better if you kept the gaze down? What do you like about the twist? What do you hate about it? And release. Feel free to shake and sway. Let that moment go. It's gone. It's gone. We're in the present moment. This is a new moment. Excuse me. And we'll come on up once again. Nice flat spine. Let's find the cat and cow. So first I'm going to bow the belly down. See about lengthening my neck and throat like I'm a turtle. Pulling my head out of my shell. Can you feel that energy? Tilting the tailbone up like I'm extending my own tail out of my shell. And round the spine. Breathe. Let your head go. Finding a neutral space. Right hand to the block, standing in it. Feeling our arms supporting us. When you're ready, we'll twist the chest open, breathing. Accept what it is. Don't make it anything more than it is. We're just moving in the body, connecting and feeling. What's the most free we can feel in this body? Not that we're forcing it, demanding anything out of it. Push the legs, push the arm. Be present in how much the spine wants to twist. And release both hands to the block. I'm going to bring my feet a little closer together. Lean chest over the block, over your hands, whether you're on a chair. Root into the right leg. Stand in it. Be present that you are standing in it. That's what's holding you up. And then ask the left leg to lift. Now this time, see if you can just identify your left heel. And imagine it's being pulled back and out, lengthened. As though someone's got a light hold of that heel and they're pulling that leg back, making you a little longer. Can you breathe? Squeeze the left thigh. Did that make you squeeze your jaw? Breathe in. Smile. Check in now and again. If we smile, it kind of helps orient the muscles in our face, or at least we become aware of what's going on in our faces. And we'll bring that left leg down. When you're ready, don't be in a hurry. If you need to work out some circulation in your feet and legs, do it. Maybe work out those wrists. You'll notice how much you're leaning down, or are you standing in the arms? When you're ready, we'll root into the left leg and lift the right, driving energy through that heel. Feeling, for me, a little bit more wobble on this side. Driving that heel, just feeling my calf muscle. Can I make that longer? Can that extend further back and away from my body? Squeezing the right thigh, feeling the muscles around that bone. Fixing my own face and bringing that leg down, rounding the spine back up to standing. And I'm going to shift my weight into my left leg, lifting the right, and reach that leg out, sitting up tall. And maybe pull the knee higher, maybe not. So we're all going to have a different level. If you're feeling confident, you can reach the arms out. If you're feeling stable, you can reach upward. Wanted to change that terminology to stable. Confident makes it feel like it's a character defect or flaw. We're not talking about our character. We're just talking about our physical state of stability. And we're all going to have a different space of stability. It has nothing to do with the kind of person we are. But it's really interesting how we can characterize things that way, right? All right. When you're ready, we're going to shift into the right leg and ask the left leg to lift. Just say, this is me standing in my right leg. This is me letting my left leg lift. This is me standing in the right leg, extending my left leg with as much ease as I can. And then bend the knee. It can hang low. Maybe you're feeling like, I want to see if I bring that up. Did I apply so much energy that I knocked myself over? Yup, I did. And lifting. No pressure. What is stability? What is steadiness? Not perfection, just steadiness. I love the wobbles because the wobbles give me an opportunity to look at how steady in the process of steadiness, right? There's no instant presto changeo steady button, right? Because you can see I'm working it out. Breathe. And we'll bring that leg down. Inhale, exhale, side bend. Breathing in, soften the neck. Exhale, side bend. Move from the side in the waist. Breathing in, and we'll take it forward. All right, we're going to bring our hands to our block. Bring the feet kind of close to the block or the chair. And we're going to step the right leg back and spin that foot to like the shape of a capital T. So if you're from your left heel, that right foot would be turned sideways and will come up for a warrior two. So it's just a nice transition to safely get there. You've got the chair or the block to give you some steadiness. Try to pay attention to this knee, keeping it over the heel. Don't let it go past. Now see if these hips will agree with you to turn this way. Free your toes. Soften and loosen something. Loosen something. In your breath, in your mind, in your body. And let's straighten. We're just going to switch to the other side. So I'm going to spin on this heel and spin on that heel and bend this knee. So it's a heel pivot. Feel your tailbone. Feel the spine lengthening upward. Are we aware of feeling the carriage of our spine and our torso? How effortless can we be in those arms? What are we expressing in our faces right now? And let's just straighten and just sink in it. Just reset. Maybe change something. Say, okay, I'm just like, treat your yoga like you're stepping into a fitting room. And you're making yourself kind of nip and tuck and feel like, is this fitting? Maybe I want to straighten, adjust something. But it doesn't have to be the clothing adjustment, right? It could be a mind adjustment. What do we need to do to adjust to find a little bit more ease to make this fit? Making our yoga fit us, not be fitness. Let's straighten. I'm going to spin on that heel. Reaching behind the back. Maybe hold your strap if your hands don't want to come together easily. If you're threading the fingers, change the threading. Switch it up, right? All right, so here we go. We're going to lift the wrists. Oh, feel the collarbone, upper chest area. How much room can we make for breath here? Work the neck up and back. Feeling a little spacious maybe in the legs and the hips. And the neck rotations. Feeling a little bit of stretching and a tension in the neck and shoulders. What are we observing about our breath right now? And change direction. Awesome. Let's lift the wrist. Shine that chest, that heart. Knees I'm going to soften, okay, to protect the backs of the knees. And whoop, there's my hip. Bring the upper body, forward. So much comes into play into this deep, wide-legged forward bend. So much self-consciousness, so much that we're coming into conscious and contact with ourselves, right? Folding our torso into our legs. We might become more aware of different body parts. Maybe we're self-conscious. You can let those arms go. Got to work on some trust to kind of let that upper body hang. And we all have different degrees of trust to be working on here. Notice your feet. Maybe lift the toes. You could shift back and forth. How much pressure are you applying in your feet? And do you have the ability to alleviate some of that right here? Would you like to? Now we'll walk over to the left leg, however close you can get it, and see about a hug. Make sure it's a hug, not a strangle. Soften your faces. What does this shape amplify somewhere else in your body? What feels good about it? Not just, oh, what should the stretch feel like? No, just ask yourself, what feels good? What's yummy? Can you maybe even just kind of massage yourself a little somewhere with your hands? And we'll come on over to the other side. Yoga means connection. What is the depth of connection you're making with your physical body, with your mind, with your breath? What's the depth of connection you want? Good. We'll come to center, bend the knees liberally, and then see about patiently curving the spine up to standing. Feeling that stretching up and down the spine into the back of the neck. Ooh, coming upright. Awesome. Let's just go ahead and bring the legs in together. And then we can face one another here. I'm going to cross this right leg in front of the left. Now, depending on the size of our thighs, we might need to step that foot forward a little bit, just so we have a good base, okay? So we're doing a counter space to what we were doing. We were doing that nice wide space, lengthening in the back. Here, we're crisscrossing. You might feel some tension in your low back, depending on what's going on in your back. And then ensure that you feel stable. Maybe be close to a wall or a chair, because that crossover might really mix up the brain here. All right, as best we can. So you might want your chair in front of you or something. See about coming forward. It's a completely different space. Now you can soften those knees here too. Talk about balance and trust. Talk about intensity levels changing in the backs of those legs. I'd love to just scan our posture from the ground up. So whenever my mind is either getting a little too run around nutsy, or it doesn't know what to do, I give it something to play with. So I give it some order. And I'll just say, okay, from the tips of the toes, each toe, and just notice what I notice. And if I feel strain, I try to alleviate it. If it feels like it's doing absolutely nothing, I ask it to join the team. All of the bones in the skin, in the feet, in the ankles, the arches, the heels. Coming up through the front of the shins, sides of the calves, back of the calves. Feeling the kneecaps and the backs of the knees. If I don't feel one, space or another, I shift the weight around. Can I start to feel it? And then I go, oh, there you are. You're a part of me. Whoa, sides of the thighs, backs of the thighs, fronts of the thighs. Feel the skin, feel the muscles, feel the bones. So you get the picture, scanning up, scanning up, scanning up. Folds of the flesh in the tummy and the chest. When you're ready, we're going to bring ourselves up. Remember, you can bend those knees. Sometimes that really helps give us a little bit more stability to bring ourselves back up. Ooh. Take a few breaths and just notice what was intense. What did I just connect with? What area of the body really got to lengthen? What areas were fighting? We're going to get ready and change the other side. What areas really gave into it and said, yeah, give me more? And, I had a couple of sessions yesterday, and it was just quite legit. There's so many areas of movement and connections with our body where we go, there's a lot going on, but I don't know what's going on. and that's just natural if we're still just learning how to have a conversation with our bodies in that way. All right, so now we've crossed, change leg, feel across the low back. I don't like to say what something should feel like. I'm not in your body, you're not in mine, but I will just kind of identify like, oh, maybe pay attention over here. Maybe pay attention along the sides of the thighs. Remember, you can bend those knees. We can protect the knees by giving them less of a stiff point, so by bending those knees. Also, it just gives us a little bit more awareness, changing things around. If you're stable, you're ready, we're going to come on forward. Woo! Already up in my back. Woo! My right butt cheek. Woo! I thoroughly believe in sound effects in your yoga. And since you guys can't share yours with me, I get to share mine with you. How is the breath helping? Am I achieving a calmer mental state, or is this space agitating my mental space? Just noticing how they're relating to one another. Do that scan, maybe starting at the top of the head. How much can the upper body let go? What's still tensing and not trusting and not wanting to let go? Nice. And softening my knee around the spine up. I love letting the arms just dangle and just feeling non-effort. Can I allow non-effort to be an intentional space in how I carry the body? All right, let's see how those legs feel. We'll come on out, finding our mountain. Good, and we'll root into the right leg, asking the left leg to lift, and maybe see if it wants to open. Okay, because we had that cross, and maybe we'll see about opening and back and down. Check it out, checking in. Make sure that you're breathing, loosen up. Feel that left leg rooting for you, asking the core and the tummy, give you a little bit of stability to lift up that right leg. You get to choose how high. Don't sacrifice your stability. Faces, so much chill. And we open. Don't worry about how much it wants to open. Feel what's going on in this thigh. Is it the bone that doesn't want to go further? Is it the muscles? Is it this leg that's saying, hey, pay attention to me because I'm doing the work here? Because this leg's just kind of chilling and hanging out. Breath. Knee back to center. And bring that down. I can actually really feel the muscles along this quad really working to just hold and stabilize. Freeing the toes, breathing in, exhale, bringing it forward. Let's go ahead and move the blocks and stuff out of the way. And see if you can bend your knees enough, maybe walk the feet back and bring the hands down flat and just start to walk your feet back. And see how much you can just angle the butt up toward the ceiling
And try not to dump everything into the hands. I know a lot of folks feel like their wrists take a huge impact in the down dog. Can you transfer some weight into the thinner digits? Can that ring finger be supporting you? If that was the only surface that was on the floor, how much energy and effort would the muscles in the ring fingers have to do to hold you? So do that through all of the digits and not the wrists. And then let's pedal the heels up and down. Feel the calves, your Achilles. Do you need to walk the legs back a little bit more? Do the shoulders need to shrug? Are they shrugging? Do you know what is going on? And let's lower the knees down. All right, I'm going to come and face you all. We're going to do what's called Parigraha. Now, if your knees are sensitive or being on the knees is just a bit much for the patella, for the kneecap, you could get a pillow or some rolled up blankets to put under your knee. We're going to step the right foot out to the side. I'd like to try to see if I can align the center of that foot, the arch, with the inside of my left knee. I'm going to come up, and I'm just going to see if these hips want to move. Woo, they're talking. They're telling me to slow my roll. Try not to lock this knee. Are we aware of whether we're jamming that knee back? Let's be kind to the joints. And that just starts by building some awareness of what we do in them. Chest is lifting, maybe reaching those arms up, but try to soften the shoulders down. And then ask yourself, am I lifting and growing? And if so, from where in my body? How do I know? How am I aware of that? We could bring this right arm onto the right leg. Oh, now what's different in this side bend from when we did it standing? Now you can be looking down or up. Scan what's going on. Is the neck asking for a little forgiveness? Is the waist wanting to bend, but it's saying, give me a little bit more time? Is the waist not wanting to bend at all? Is the shoulder screaming? Change whatever you need to respond to. Maybe you just let an arm rest. Say, I'm really just working this waist, not reaching through an appendage, asking the main trunk line to move. Ooh, and coming upright. Good. Now, see if the waist wants to twist. It may not. And sometimes just guiding ourselves, touching the waist, and seeing, does it want to twist? Maybe the spine thanked you for the manual assist. Maybe your spine is like, nobody asked you. And then let's see how far, the leg, the back, the waist, let you come forward over that leg. If you can keep these toes perpendicular, go ahead. We'll get a little stretch through the side of the ankle. Maybe start to notice how much tension is getting compressed in these ankles. How much range of movement do we offer our ankles on a daily basis? What do they need from us right now? Good, and then we'll walk the hands around out in front. And you could bring that left hand beside the left knee. Maybe it's on a block. So that's why having like some of these props around is really helpful. Now, see if you can bring your hips forward, right? They tend to want to pooch back. So can we bring the hips in line with this knee? And do we already feel a bit of a stretch through the side, through the waist? Can you squeeze the muscles of this leg, asking them to be a part of the support? Right, we might have really been thinking, I thought this arm was supporting me. Hey, that leg could do something. And we could reach through the right arm and see how much the whole right side of body can lengthen. How much does it want to lengthen? Does it want more than what the body can give? Can the body give more than we're actually aware of? Use your breath. How does it feel emotionally to just be this stretched out, this outstretched, taking up so much space? And we'll bring the hands down out in front of us. And we'll bring this leg in. And we'll get ready for the other side. I'm just going to step that leg out. Change if you need to change where you've got a blanket under that knee. Do your alignment with that foot. Ooh, feeling these hips on this side. Shoulders at ease, faces at ease. And then approaching some lengthening. Squeezing this thigh, but not locking the knee. That can be like a whole month of practice right there. Like, how often do I lock my knee? Can I squeeze that thigh without locking the knee? Should I be able to? And then you're just doing your own like experiment. You've got a hypothesis and you're just doing this experiment. And you're connecting brain connections into different areas of the body. Side bend if you like, Can we lift up? Do we want to feel this amount of space in our waist? Does that area of the body want to be felt, want to be seen? Can we breathe there, aerate there, ventilate there, express there? Can we meet it where it is, on what it wants? Can we have the patience if we don't know? And lift, and we'll twist. Remember, we can give ourselves a little manual assist, great bodily touch, and feel that rotation, that loving tenderness. And come forward. Feel your way. The back of this hamstring over here is definitely telling me to slow my roll. Ooh, and my task in this practice is to listen, not to command or demand. Breathe in, breathe out. Can you soften in the hips, soften in the low back? What are we learning about the rib cage and the spaces between each rib? What are we allowing ourselves to feel in our shoulders and our neck? What can we feel and explore in breath? And then we can walk the hands around the center. Remember that right hand can be down beside that knee. Hips. Just feel that space, pushing the hips forward. Notice, do we feel that in this thigh? Squeeze this thigh. Maybe use a block. Does the body breathe better, have more ease better when we give ourselves the support? Maybe change different levels to notice, I feel that in my back now. And then if you want, you can lengthen over, stretching through the whole side of body, thrusting the hips forward, squeezing the thighs, quieting the mind. And we'll bring the hands back down, out in front of us. Walk that knee in, and we'll come to a seated space. All right, let's go ahead and grab our strap for the seated space. We won't do that shoulder business, but we'll see how much it can help us with our legs and our back. As we get ready for this fold, I really want to talk a little bit about how this forward fold, oftentimes we're talking about, you'll hear people talking about the backs of the legs, but the back is an equal partner in the fold. If we were folding a piece of paper, the left side of the paper isn't getting a good stretch. Both sides are equal partners. So can we start to think about the body in that way and really pay attention to the back of what the back needs, what the back is holding, what the back will allow, how the back could help the legs, how the legs could help us find the space in the back, because we're often taking more out of the legs than they need to give. And this other equal partner is just off by the wayside. And the back is what really wants our help. So let's have our legs maybe as wide as the mat. We can bring our strap down toward the feet, and we can hold the strap. Some people like to do this wrap. I don't. It cuts off the circulation in my hands. But I'm going to show, and then I'm going to let it go. I'm going to hold as close to the feet as I can with my arms fully extended. Now, I'm going to slide my hands back until my spine is erect, and I'm getting as much of a 90-degree angle as I imagine that I can, pushing the backs of the legs down and asking the muscles in the front shelf of me to lift me, as though some hands came along here and lifted me up. Pulling the shoulders down, growing tall through the back of the neck. Can you see how the lift is helping you push down in areas, and how the pushing down is helping you lift in areas? Now try to bring some muscle action under your armpits. So in other words, don't let the pulling pull the bone out of socket. You don't want to feel that socket getting that loosey-goosey. Breath in as you lift up tall. Make room for that air. Take in a little sip more. And now exhale and pull your chin, extending your belly button and your chest toward your big toes. Elbows out to the sides. Soften the back of your spine. Soften your low back. Squeeze the thighs. Soften the low back. Squeeze the thighs. Anchor with the legs. Permit with the back. Permit pliability with the back. Use the breath to think soft thoughts. Let go in the low back. Squeeze the thighs. And round the spine, letting go of the action. Using the engagement of squeezing the thighs to create an anchored base for the rest of it to move from. Okay? So let's do that one more time. If you would like, you could bring the legs maybe a little closer together. If you're pretty good, you don't feel like your hamstrings need that much forgiveness, go ahead and bring the legs absolutely together. We can clear some of the flesh out of the way so we feel a pretty good connection with the backs of the calves, the hips down. Find your clasp. Flex your toes to your face. Work out your toes. Feel the muscles in your feet working to flare those toes. Pushing the heels down into the floor, pushing the backs of the calves into the floor, lifting the spine, lift your rib cage. Let your breath expand in the space you've created. Breath in. Exhale, hinge. Squeeze those thighs, soften the belly. Squeeze those thighs, soften your back. Squeeze the thighs, unsqueeze your mind. Allow the neck to extend forward like you're pulling a slinky forward. Vary on the amount of effort that you're putting into it. And see if you notice any change, any space of permission, any space of allowance. And we'll soften and round our spine up. And we'll set the strap aside. Awesome. All right. I'm going to shift over onto my right side and bend my left leg. Now, notice here, for some of us, it's more comfortable to have this foot sideways. Please, everybody, you've got to honor what's going on in your knees. Some knees don't want to bend this way, either due to injury or surgeries, or just it can just say no, right? None of us need to give a reason for our no. Let's listen to that knee, listen to that hip. It could be out, it could be in. So feel out where you feel most comfortable. I'm actually going to tuck the back of the foot, the top of the foot under so that I'm getting this stretch here. And then I'm going to see if I can bring my hip weight over it. Ooh, now you can be doing that here. That does turn the knee, so be careful about how much weight you bring over that leg. And then walk the hands back gently. Now this could be where you chill. You could be like, this is enough. Maybe your ankle is talking. I'm going to tuck this again. My ankle does not like that sideways. It's not like it really likes the stretch on the top either, but it puts up with it, and eventually it feels really good. If you want, some of you could walk the hands back further. We're not going to lie down. We're just going to see how much weight we can lower. Maybe raise and lift, feeling the arms, kind of give us a little reverse light push-up. Can you soften the ankle? Can you soften the back? How about the thigh, the quad, the breath, the mind? And bringing ourselves up. I'm going to switch, bringing that leg out and making our way over to the other side. Ooh. Take your time. Never feel like you need to just jam your way in. I like to just adjust, shift. Did I like that? A little compression. Change the angle a little, shift, a little compression. Feeling the back of the calf muscles up against the back of the thigh and the hamstring. Sometimes that's more than enough compression. Listen to the joint in the knee. Does it feel like there's something squishy in there? Does it feel like something that's screaming in there? Do you want to lessen the angle? Do you want to increase it? Each day, each practice, we get to grow in awareness. That's that connection. And then if we like, we can start to, come on back. Now, not many of us throughout our working day are sitting in this kind of position, right? So this body area doesn't get to feel this range very much. Maybe you're feeling that mostly in your back. Maybe you're feeling it mostly in the front of the thigh. They're connected to one another, right? They're the flip sides of one another. Start to notice like, do you need a little bit more of that? Would that allow that to be open? And I don't mean in this one session. Look at your repeated and constant movements throughout any given day. No 1 hour, half hour, whatever session of yoga is going to quote unquote fix you. It's about balance. Balance and awareness. And let's bring ourselves up. I'm going to lengthen the legs out. Vibrate. That's a nice way to shake that energy loose. Shake the legs. Let the flesh jiggle. Ooh. Point and flex. Some ankle rotations. Good. Now, before we lie down, I'm going to cross my left ankle above right knee. You might need to help it up there. Again, pay attention to your knees. If they don't want to go there, we'll use something with a strap in a moment. And we'll bend the left knee. Now, how close you can bring your belly to that thigh is really going to depend on the tension in your back, as well as how much girth and tummy and thigh we've got. So I can bring this knee up here because my hip is pretty open, my back is pretty open, my belly's allowing it. So see how close that can be and just lift the chest. Okay, and we're going to lower that down. It's just a seated pigeon kind of space, and we'll switch. Woo, feel that hip. Woo. I'm going to scooch it in a little closer. Woo! Remember what I said about sound effects? Chest lifting. You could do some of that reverse pushing up. Notice what's going on in the hip, the belly, our mind. All right, I'm going to release the legs. Make sure that you've got your strap, your block nearby for lowering down. And we'll lay it down on our back. And I'm going to start with the right leg crossed over, right ankle crossed over the left knee. And if you're feeling like it doesn't want to hold there on its own, you could bring the strap around that right ankle to help you kind of hold it in place. And then if you want, we can pull the left knee up. You can hold on behind the left knee. Don't worry about angles and trajectories, especially if we're just trying to get that ankle crossed up there. Now, if you're having that, you have to use this strap adjustment. Try to notice, like, okay, why do I need the strap? What's tight? What's not allowing this angle? It might be in the knee. It might be in the side of that right thigh or deep down into that right butt. You've got to build that awareness and then the patience to send a soft thought there. Not that there's any goal to say, I must get my ankle to do this by whatever date. That's hogwash. But if you're feeling like there's a lack of freedom somewhere in your range of movement, or you want to explore a new range of movement, if you're noticing that something in this movement, this shape, is affecting your back and you want your back to feel its healthiest, then we sit and we bring in a mindful assessment and then a whole ton of forgiveness and acceptance. We gradually feel spaces in just really minuscule ways start to shift and change. And then we ask ourselves, let's release and find the other side. I'm not going to use the strap on the other side. So just try to use the guidance of what we just did for the other side. And what I was about to say, here I'm going to pull this knee up to the chest and hold in. I'm not yanking or tugging. I'm just letting the weight of my arms rest here. And just letting the natural process, letting the muscles and the tissues gradually yield to this space, to this pressure. But what I was getting at is this. If you're asking and wishing for something to be changing and developing, how much energy and effort are you dedicating and committing to it? It's not meant to be a shaming question. But if you're in your body in a certain shape and certain repeated movements, like 15 hours out of a day, and you only give intention and effort toward alternate movements of balancing the body once a week for 20 minutes, would that create balance and harmony? Would the body find a way of shifting and changing? Maybe for that moment. So how do you start to incorporate this awareness on a more regular basis? And we'll release both feet down, separate the feet a few inches apart. Rest your arms, let them go, and just look at your ceiling. Relax your eyelids. You've got nowhere to go, nowhere to be, nothing to do. What is your mind doing right here? Can it be enough to just be here, observing whatever your eyes show you, observing whatever's going on in your mind, telling your hips they can let go, telling your shoulders and the bones in your neck they can let go. Are you permitted to do nothing? Does it have value? How are you feeling the embodiment of that value right now? Be aware of the skin on your feet touching the floor. How much of the floor can you be aware of? What's different about the floor under your left foot than under your right? What's different about the floor underneath of your right big toe than what you're aware of under your left heel? Is it softer, squishier, warmer? Is it tingly? Can you feel anything at all? Is it there? Feel the amount of pressure you are pressing through the feet into the floor. Start to tighten your tummy muscles, pushing your back into the floor. Push the feet down, push the back into the floor. What's responding in the front of your body, front of your belly? How about your shoulders and your neck? Do they need to be? Feel your back, feel your feet. Now push down through the feet and start to let the hips slowly rise. Tell yourself to just be patient and feel the process of rising a quarter of an inch, another quarter of an inch, another quarter of an inch. Feel your body weight resting on the backs of the shoulders as you try to find as much of a relaxed bridge posture as you can. What's going on in your groin and your inner thighs? Could you align those knees over the heels for an equal distribution of energy? Can you feel the soles of the feet again? Can you feel the amount of pressure in what sections of the foot? How present can we be? How much can our awareness permeate our bodies? What regions of our bodies is our awareness exploring here? Breathe in and lower the spine down. Bottoms of the feet coming together, allowing the knees to fall open. Maybe let those eyes remain open. Don't shut out. Let it in. Notice the things that we don't notice. Notice what we react to. Notice something about just the gift of sight that we're enjoying. Notice something about your physical body that you're just relishing, that you have gratitude for. Not for what it can do for you in the future, just right now. What do you enjoy about the nape of your neck? What do you enjoy about the curve in your low back? Your armpits, your earlobes. And we'll gradually bring the feet back down. Let's cross the right knee joint over the left, like a curtsy style crossing of legs. And keep the left foot on the floor. And let's let the knees just drop over to the right. Don't force anything. It may not go all the way to the floor. That's fine. Ooh, where's the stretch point happening? Where's the pulling happening? Can you sink heavy here and not try to control? Send some trust down from your upper regions of your energetic being down into your bones. And up and over. So we can keep that left foot down and just roll on over. Ooh, to the left. What's different? Can you relax the groin? What's trying to seize control? And we're just in that space of, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that the body responds to my brain signals. Grateful for being able to draw in that breath and feel this breath. Grateful for giving ourselves this time, this day, to just be energetic, feeling beings, not doing beings, We practice doing beings so much, overly so, excessively so. And it gives us the false sense that we are actually in control of anything. Let's bring the spine back to neutral and we'll switch the clasp. Bring the right foot down, crossing the left knee joint over the right knee joint. And we'll go to the left this time. Ooh. Feeling that stretch through the right side of the thigh. Right side of the hip, low back. What's going on in that low back? Feel the nuanced and really intricate textures of connection. Feel your breath in the tight spaces. And we'll make our way over to the other side. Notice if you're in a hurry. Can you savor this? Can we savor a movement just like we would savor a flavor? Savoring isn't reserved just for the taste and the palate. And let's gently come on back to center. Uncross the legs, bringing the knees toward the chest. Use the hands if you like. Feel that help, that little assist that the arms give. Pressing the spine into the floor. Notice your back. Maybe see if the knees can come together. What's the difference in what you feel in your back? And then let the knees part and pull the knees in, pushing the back into the floor. How does that affect the back? How does that affect the groin, the legs? And then we'll straighten the legs up toward the ceiling. I'm just going to reach my arms overhead, kind of my most relaxed, hanging out in a roller coaster look, kind of wee, but kicking the legs up. I'm letting my legs be as limp as they can while they're elevated. So I'm going to soften the groin, the thighs, the knees, the calf muscles. Let the breath into the chest cavity. Just take the weight off of my legs. Arms overhead, letting the floor hold my arms. Notice how I feel to be just this loose, this vulnerable, this trusting, this carefree. And then I'll lower the legs down, straightening the legs. Now you could put your legs over a pillow or a rolled up blanket under those knees if you'd like that support. It's real nice and yummy. You could straighten the legs and let the body go limp. Do what you need if your back is aggravated here. So you could walk the feet in. You could curl up in a ball. But choose how you want to position the body and then let it go. Eyes open if you can. Part the lips and relax the jaw. Soften the muscles on your face on purpose. Savor doing nothing. Now I've been really trying to work on savoring doing nothing because I'm really attached to doing and judging myself by how much I've done. So I've really been working in my meditative spaces, even for my going for a walk. I've stopped wearing my Garmin, stopped counting the steps. Just allowing the non-performing aspect, the savoring, of being in the skin I'm in. And it's hard. And it's so worth it. Even if we only get to savor a pure minute, one pure breath. Its value is not in my duration or in the number of reps. It's in our sincerity, our intention. Maybe wiggle the toes or stretch, savor. And we'll eventually roll over to one side and bring ourselves up to a sitting space. You could be sitting on a block. Raised hips is sometimes a lot easier on the joints. You could have your legs straight out in front of you. This is my default. Actually, the lotus is my default. It just feels really good on my back. And then how I sit changes in the day. Early in the day, bing. Later in the day, blah. And I do a lot in my body, so my body gets a little bit more fatigued. And so I'm often sitting on a block or in the chair or stool a lot more toward the end of the day as I realize how much I've been doing in the body. Honoring that this is a finite structure, right? And I need to treat it like it's finite. My spirit might be infinite, body, not so much. A single ohm if you wish to join, working the vocal cord space, the windpipe space, the resonation space. Deep breath. Your hands can rest on your knees in your lap. If you'd like them to come to the Anjali Mudra, go ahead, holding an intention close to your heart. We're not bowing to anyone. You can be bowing to yourself, to your own journey if you wish. And a bow is not necessary in your namaste. Namaste means that all of the light that is within me is but a reflection of the light that is within you. Namaste. Thank you all so very much for joining, letting me share my practice of yoga with you and you sharing your energy with me. We are connected and one. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga. This has been our Yoga Basics on Saturday, November 7th. If you were here live, love ya. Feel free to say, hey, I'll stick around a little bit. If you're catching us on demand, good on you. Practicing, share our videos if you like, share any of our blog posts if you like. And if it's in your heart or your pocket, we'll accept any donation you're willing to give. PayPal.me/justbeyoga. I'm going to be logging off and logging back in at 11:30 if you want to stick around for a little bit more heat for our Empower Yoga practice that starts at 11:30 Eastern Time. Yay, D-Bay. Hey, Jess, good to see you. I hope that you guys all have a wonderful day. You peoples, enjoy. If you're here in the Midwest, the upper Midwest, Michigan in particular, it is going to be warm. So soak it up, savor your movement, savor your senses. Let's feel more, do less, and how much we do is not a reflection of our character and our spirit. Thank you all so very much. I'm deeply grateful. Namaste.